I had always heard tales about the dangers of working the night shift, but they usually concerned thieves, or maybe the occasional unruly trespasser. The office building I was assigned to, the centuries-old Holloway Corp, was different. There was an unease about it after dark, whispered among the security teams but never spoken aloud. The grand lobby, with its marble floors and chandeliers, always felt cold air at night. The old elevators, their wooden panels reflecting the dim overhead lights, would creak and groan even when not in use. One evening, as the last employees were leaving, an elderly janitor, Mrs. Agnes, handed me an old, tarnished key. "For the top floor," she whispered. "No one ever goes up there, but if you do, never after midnight. And always lock it behind you." I chuckled. Mrs. Agnes always had her eccentricities. The top floor had been closed off for renovations for as long as anyone could remember. I pocketed the key, thinking nothing more of it. Hours into my shift, around 11:45 p.m., the surveillance cameras started glitching. I saw distorted images of employees who had already left, bustling about as if in the middle of a workday. Most disturbingly, the camera on the top floor showed a shadowy figure just standing there, facing away. Curiosity got the better of me. I decided to check it out. The ancient elevator chugged slowly upward. When it reached the top floor, the doors hesitated, then opened with a reluctant jerk. The floor looked nothing like the under-renovation space I'd imagined. It was fully furnished, draped in 1940s décor. The room smelled of stale cigarette smoke and old whiskey, punctuated with a faint tune of a classic song echoing from somewhere. I cautiously stepped out, flashlight in hand. The beam landed on old typewriters, a coffee mug with lipstick stains, and an ashtray full of cigarette butts. Time seemed to have frozen on this floor. The shadowy figure from the camera was nowhere in sight, but I could feel a presence, a weight in the air. I remembered the key and decided to lock the floor up, hoping to rid myself of the feeling. I heard the soft clacking of typewriter keys from behind an office door. I approached slowly, trying to shake off the dread building inside me. As I swung the door open, the room was empty except for a single note left on the typewriter. "You shouldn't have come here." Just then the lights began to flicker, and the classic tune grew louder, shifting into a menacing tone. I raced to the elevator, pressing the button repeatedly, praying for the doors to close. From the corner of my eye, I saw the shadowy figure, no longer facing away but moving towards me with a chilling speed. The doors finally closed, and the elevator began its descent. My heart raced, but relief washed over me. I thought I had escaped whatever that was. The elevator halted abruptly on the third floor. The doors slid open to reveal Mrs. Agnes, her eyes vacant, humming the very tune I'd just heard. "It's past midnight," she whispered, her voice eerily distorted. "You shouldn't have unlocked the door." She lunged towards me, but before she could reach me, the elevator doors shut and resumed its descent. When I reached the ground floor, I ran straight out of the building, gasping for air, trying to shake off the terror. The next day, I handed in my resignation. I learned from a coworker that Mrs. Agnes had passed away years ago, and the top floor was closed, not for renovations, but because employees during the 1940s had disappeared mysteriously. I now know that some doors are meant to stay locked, and some whispers of warning are meant to be heeded. Whatever was on that floor, I had let it out. And the weight of that realization was a burden I'd have to bear for the rest of my days.